Hello and welcome back to the Book Wars Pod for episode 171.
Bow, 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 bow.
Nice.
I am Chris. I am here with the whole team. Well, not the whole team. Rana's not.
I was
Yeah.
trying
Rana-
or I couldn't
Rana-
hit the button.
Rana Erasure.
I know. I was gonna say. Oh my God.
We are
It's 'cause
here
she's
with
busy. Good lord.
myself, Kate, Miranda, and Ash. And we are here to talk about The Rising Storm by Cavan Scott. Chapter 50 through to the end.
That's true. Also, just to clarify, Rana's not been around because she works for a nonprofit and is doing actually like important stuff to help society.
No,
unlike...
Rana has a real life that actually entails her doing things and going places as opposed to me, where I move between my bed, the couch, and the toilet on a daily basis.
I deadass this week. I started just living on the couch because when it was hot, like I have an AC unit. It doesn't necessarily distribute very well. So I just like took the fan that I have, like the tower fan, in my bedroom. I just like pulled it out to the living room, put it kind of near the AC unit, and then pointed it towards me on the couch so I could sleep. And it's been like a day or two since we kind of got relief, but I haven't moved back.
You know, you've got a whole setup there. I totally get that.
It's great.
Listen, couch sleep hits different. I respect it.
It's great.
Since I live in fucking Hellspawn, Texas, where it's hot and humid all of the time, there's literally a fan pointed at my bed. And because my parents, who I live with, are fucking psychos and keep the house at 75 degrees.
That's not acceptable when your humidity level is that high because it feels like it's 1 billion degrees warmer than that.
Yeah,
I know.
My shit, I got my shit set to 74, but I also live in Portland. It's only wet in the winter.
Right.
Yeah.
My glasses don't like fucking steam up when I walk in outside.
Oh my God.
They steam up in my own home.
Yeah,
that's
right.
fucked up. That is fucked.
That's worse than us, and our house has been at pretty much a constant 80 to 85 degrees for the past month because our AC is broken.
Yes. Which is horrible, but also it's a dry heat. So, you know.
Fuck
famously.
off. It's still fucking hot. It's 100 degrees
I
in
lived
Portland
in New
this
Mexico
week.
where it's about the driest dry heat you can get, and it's not as bad as it being 105 degrees with 80% humidity.
Oh, yeah. No.
Well, yeah, but it's still...
We live here for a reason. Burp. No, we live here for a reason because as folks know, we used to live in DC and holy fucking hell. Like, is it as bad?
I don't fuck with humidity.
Is it as bad as coastal Texas? No, because I've been there at the times of year, but still, it was I didn't appreciate the fact that my ass just never dried out. So, for like months. So, anyway,
good talk.
On today's episode of the Book Wars Pod.
I was gonna say I'm gonna move. I'm gonna eyes forward, keep walking.
I truly don't know what y'all expect from me, but all right.
So just in case we're not off the rails enough, is anybody drinking anything, and if so, what?
Yeah, it's a really exciting Friday night in the Cedar household. Chris has nothing, and I have water.
That's true. Well, it's okay. It's because we haven't cooked dinner yet. Because we were like too lazy and I was napping and Kate was playing video games. And then we were like, well, we probably don't have time to cook before we record now. And then we were like, okay, so let's just make like a snack of some chicken nuggies and cook after. But if I drink, I'm not cooking after.
Okay,
so.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
All very valid reasons.
Burb, what about you?
I have water, but I already drank most of it, and it's also like I am fully set up on my couch, as we have discussed, and I can't really get to it around the mic, which I have attached. It's like a long boy, so it's attached to my coffee table.
Oh God!
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, ignore the no, we'll just do it from this side so you don't see all the fucking mess in my house. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm familiar. You're just like lounging. You're reclining. I love this for you.
Sorry for the feet pics.
And we won't put that on the Instagram. Thank you.
Nope.
Not for free anyway. That's a Patreon benefit.
Wow.
That is not a Patreon benefit. I will not be
Screenshots.
putting any foot pics on Instagram.
Could you imagine if I was like completely unprompted, fucking screenshot it and put it on the Patreon? Give us $100,000 and you can.
You know what? If they give us $100,000, I will put my Hobbit feet on Instagram.
I was gonna say I'd do it for 50,000.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, but ain't nobody want to look at your feet. I don't want to look at your feet.
Listen,
I've been looking at your feet
okay,
for 13
somebody
years.
wants to look at anyone's feet. There's
Okay,
someone out there for everyone's
Oh
feet.
my
I'm
God.
confident.
You want to hear something fucking insane
Yes.
that I did a couple of years ago when I had like less than $2 in my bank account?
Oh no, Ash.
You
Did
can
you
tell
selfie
where
pics?
this is going. No, I didn't like on a website. I mean, yes, I did selfie pics, but I didn't sell them on like a website. I had made a comment on Twitter about how I have unusually long toes, which is true. And some guy came in my
Oh my
DMs
God.
and said, "How much?" And I was like, to tell you how strapped for cash I was at this moment, the fact that I actually was like, I don't know, name your price. And he said, $500 for 10 pics. And I was like, yes, I don't care. You don't even know
All
what
right.
my face looks like. It's just my feet. This is like the most innocuous thing. I can't believe I'm admitting this on a podcast. But
You can take it
Yes.
out later if you want to. You do control this bitch.
It's true.
no,
it'll-
it's staying.
Ash, you have the best fucking stories. I just
That's excellent. Like, that's like a solid price, though, I feel like.
If it was going to be like $40, I wouldn't have done it. But the man said $500. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
you know, I've done worse for $500.
I was gonna say, like, dude, $500 for like 30 seconds of your time taking 10 pictures of your feet. I get it. Yep. I would have done it.
I told my dad this story recently, and he was like, I respect the hustle.
Oh my God, Dad!
Amazing.
He was like, good for you, kid.
Oh my God, that fucking kills. I don't know. I have no words. That's just
Amazing.
no
Incredible.
notes.
Stunning.
Just for the record, I will not sell anybody any pictures of my feet anymore.
Now I kind of want to see how long your toes are.
Huh?
I want to know how
$500,
long
Miranda.
I don't have I also have $4 in my bank account. I'm just curious.
Oh my God, this is what happens when we record on Fridays, y'all.
I have to put feet pics in our chat.
Whatever.
That would be very funny.
That's fine.
I'm not going to do that.
Don't do that.
I feel
want
like
a
if you
picture
did,
of it.
Kristen would like immediately respond with some like weird picture of pregnancy feet. And, like, no
You're
questions asked.
so right.
No questions
She keeps
asked.
sending me pictures of like she's putting like
She's got
athletic-
KT tape.
yes, she's got on her belly. So she keeps sending me pictures of the fucking wrapping situation, and I'm just like,
I didn't
oh.
I didn't know she was doing that. And then she like sent a picture of her pregnant ass belly to a group chat today. And like bless her, she does do like the invisible ink shit on like personal pictures so we don't have to look at them if we don't want to cuz bodies are gross and weird.
Famously.
Accurate.
But she sent a picture and I looked at it and I was like, is that KT tape?
Yep. No,
Fucking wild.
she sent me the YouTube video she used to figure out where to put the tape. So,
I love
Ash,
that.
what are you drinking?
I feel like I should cut this all out, but I'm not gonna.
That's good.
Nah, no need.
Water, but it's all the way over there on my bed.
Oh,
So I was
no.
waiting until I could stop talking to get up and go get it.
Oh my.
Gotta have feet talk.
Oh man.
But instead, I told everybody a story about my fucking time taking feet pics, selling feet pics. So.
Fuck yes.
Maybe that's what I can do if I quit my job.
Sell feet pics?
No one wants to see your feet, Chris.
No one wants.
I stand by what I said before. There is
Nobody
someone
wants
out
to
there.
see a cishet white man's nasty ass feet.
I stand by what I said before. What? You think queer people can't be into feet? It's homophobic, Burb.
I said a cishet white man. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean
there
queer
could
people
be-
can't be into feet. What?
No, nobody wants to look at your feet specifically. That's what we're saying. You specifically, you. No one wants to look at that.
No, Burb's being homophobic.
I feel like
fuck.
I feel
Noted
like
homophobe, Miranda.
I'm being homophobic to
Chris?
the
Question
one
mark.
straight
Yes.
cishet person on this
You're
podcast.
being homophobic to all the gay men in the world who might want to see my feet. You don't know.
okay, I feel like as producer, we need to get off the feet talk and actually talk about Star Wars.
I'm so fucking upset.
All right. Anyway, so and just as a reminder, in case throughout all that you lost the plot, listeners, we're all sober.
Horrifyingly sober.
Just very sober.
Just as a reminder, our cause for this book is the Prism Foundation, which is dedicated to exploring critical issues that affect the Asian and Pacific Islander LGBTQIA+ community and supporting innovative programs and individuals seeking solutions to those issues. They provide academic scholarships to non-traditional API LGBTQIA+ students and core funding to under-resourced and underrepresented local community orgs and projects. You can learn more and donate to them at theprismfoundation.org. Remember, as always, that's Prism with an M. I don't know what the Prison Foundation with an N is, but I'm very confident that we don't support it.
Chris, you just read that like a fucking the side effects on a drug commercial.
I fucking blessings. I fucking all right. I cannot. Anyway, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was the weird force shit in this book because
Force dog.
I was gonna say I could not remember so we've had a few gaps in reading and recording and whatever else, and so I could not for the life of me the other night remember what the fuck the leveler was called, and I was like. I was like talking to Chris and I was like, the bad force dog, and Chris is like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, the bad force dog that eats your soul.
Nom nom puppy.
Yes.
For what it's worth, Kate also said this to me over the weekend when they were in town, and I was like, I read this part of the book like well before we were supposed to record the first time.
For once in your life, and
For
it
once in my
backfired
fucking
horribly.
life.
Backfired horribly.
The lesson, as always, never try.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I don't think we've quite encountered a critter like this who just takes force sensitive people and like what eats their like what life energy? What are we calling it? I don't know.
What about the fucking lizards from Heir to the Empire? Don't they do that? Or do they just stop the force?
They just kind of stop it. This is like an active
good question.
Slurping.
Yeah, like Ash just, the way Ash just almost did a spit take everywhere.
I hated everything about that.
Oh my god. Listen, I
was just asking questions, trying to be an active participant in this podcast.
That's not the right active thing you should have been doing, apparently.
I just want, this is another sidebar, but you know what, we're already off the rails, so I care not. That time we were watching Solo and you described that fucking, what do you call it, being eaten by the maw, and we were trying to decide on what the sound effect was, and you came up with moist ripping.
Yes.
Which is the worst
I
thing
stand by that.
I have ever. Is it accurate? Yes, because that is what a turkey sounds like when I'm doing Thanksgiving and I'm trying to pull it apart with my hands. And also, why? Anyway, yeah, so the bad force dog just active slurping. I fucking despise you. So he makes it such that it's just like, God, poor Loden, as if he hadn't been through enough, dies in the most horrible way. He's just like, at the end of he's just crispy, man. Like, he's just like all desiccated.
No, he's past crispy. He's past crispy.
All right, he's dusty.
He's in the bottom of the barbecue, like, he's disintegrating.
Oh my god. does that make him in a worse state than Anakin if he's in the bottom of the barbecue?
I mean, I guess that depends on what definition of worse we're going with. Worse for him or worse for the rest of us?
A great point.
Like, Loden's dead.
Yeah.
Anakin wasn't dead.
I guess that's true. And then he did bad things.
Yeah.
Like genocide.
So, like, Anakin
Murder.
probably would have preferred to be
all the way dead.
Post-crispy.
Post-crispy.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Well, anyway.
Is that a new rapper? Like post
Yeah, I got it.
No, we got it.
I got it. I chose not to say anything.
Yeah.
And then you, okay.
Everyone was clear.
Okay,
I
wow.
would like to inform you all that I'm leaving the podcast.
Yeah.
we had a great run. We really did.
You lasted about 3 episodes longer than we expected. So.
Oh God. Okay, but in all honesty, this is the most body horror I've gotten since like I was like 6, and the first time I saw Empire Strikes Back, and I saw Han and the fucking carbonite. That is scary when you were a child. It does not look right. And now I laugh at it because it's like he goes in and he has shackles on. He comes out and his hands are like this by his head, and I'm like, you fucked it up. And so now it's just funny to me. But no, this is fucking like actively disgusting.
Oh, it's terrible. Like, it's, you know, from reading this book that Cavan Scott is a horror fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a lot of like horror comics and
Mm-hmm.
other horror writing, I believe, in his collected works, for lack of a better term.
His
his
Star Wars career.
His portfolio, I think, is the word I was looking for.
Incredible.
But yeah, like it's terrifying because you just have no way to see it coming. Like, you know, we see Ro going after this thing, and we get hints. Like, you know, we got the hint from when he killed Sam the Eagle that that it somehow interferes with his ability to feel the Force,
Right.
and that's how he died.
Right.
But like, that's a whole nother level from this. Like, this is like, it was unleashed and the Jedi were winning and Loden and Bell were about to be reunited, and then everybody within a certain radius went crazy and Loden died.
That's gonna happen.
So, apparently so. Here's my question for y'all. I obviously we're gonna see more of this critter, but I was curious, and I was like having trouble gauging like the area of effect, I guess you could say. Like, obviously Loden got all super fucked up,
Dead,
and you know, within yes, and like Chris said, within a certain radius, like the Jedi kind of like they all start like having these horrible like visions and hallucinations and stuff. But then there were Jedi who just straight up were like unaffected, and so I'm like, how do we defend against this? Like, do we just like do we just run very far away from it and try to kill it that way, or like what? I don't know what we do with it.
Well, spoiler alert: the Jedi don't either.
Oh, okay, great, cool.
So we're gonna get a lot. I mean, as one would expect, like in a long book series where something like this that is just such an existential threat to the Jedi is introduced, it's a major plot point throughout phases 1 and 2 from here on out.
Oh lordy!
Didn't you say? Oh, was it another thing you said wasn't gonna be a thing again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a different
that's
thing.
That's like the nuke in a box.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a hot second.
Okay.
Sorry, now I have Dick in a Box stuck in my head.
Oh my god.
It's a nuke in a box.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, like I mean, Kate, I think you have you're making an excellent point, and also like, how do you begin to answer these questions when the only people who saw it went crazy?
Right.
And didn't see it, for lack of a better term, because they weren't in their right minds anymore.
Feels fucked up.
Feels pretty fucked up.
So yeah, no, I'm kind of excited. A lot of the High Republic, honestly, and like this wasn't a topic we planned out, but since you mentioned it with Cavan, like so much of the High Republic really is like leaning into the horror vibes, like this, fucking Claudia's YA book.
Into the Dark.
Thank you. Like a lot, there's a lot of just creepy, spooky stuff going on, and I'm kind of into it. I feel like, I mean, Horror right now, I think, is like having that moment that sci-fi did a few years ago where people are like, oh, this can actually be literature and it can actually be good and well written and tell us something about ourselves, which one could argue was the entire point of horror in the first fucking place, but that's neither here nor there at this time. But like I do like how we're just kind of like leaning into that and just, I don't know, playing with it a whole lot, because I just like when Star Wars gets weird. Just does stuff like actually doesn't go according to the formula, which it loves to all the time. So anyway,
listen, there's only so many times you can act out a sparsely edited version of the hero's journey before you need to find something new.
Never heard of it.
Have you considered? No, you can do it as many times as you want.
Tell you who has is Kathleen Kennedy. She's definitely considered that option.
Oh my god.
Man, I hope the Acolyte's good. Just casually pinning my entire hopes for Star Wars on the Acolyte.
Oh, okay.
Because I have no faith that any other Star Wars movie is ever going to come out.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I got excited for Rogue Squadron, then immediately got burned, so I'm just kind of...
man. Oh, man.
Never again.
Don't have hope.
I mean, you know what is going to be really helpful for everybody's schedules in trying to actually film the upcoming Star Wars movies that have been announced is the strikes. So it's going to be great.
Not that we're like shitting on the people who are striking, obviously. We are shitting on
studios.
Lucasfilm's ability to follow through on goddamn anything.
Yes, correct. Oh, absolutely. Listen, I would sacrifice every Star Wars movie for the rest of time for the writers and actors to be paid correctly.
Wow. Big promises from Chris.
I'm pro-labor, man. This is how pro-labor I am. I would sacrifice Star Wars.
Wow.
Anyway, any other thoughts on the Bad Force Dog?
I mean, I feel like we don't know a ton about it at this time, so I am waiting to learn more. I'm just like, what are the...
largely flew over my head. I'm not.
He likes glow sticks.
He likes glow sticks.
He's got. He's...
I know what you mean. I quit. I'm leaving the pod. If you see me on the news, it's definitely for killing Chris. Anyway, aside from the fact that he loves a good rave. No, I'm just like, what? Tell me more about the biology of the Force critter, but we do not have that at this time. So
we will.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It takes a hot second, but we will.
I love an animal fact, as you know. So
big fan of fauna. The anti-Cal Kestis, you might say.
Wow. All right.
Anyway, let's talk about the Nihil. Kate, I think this was your point.
It sure is. So like, obviously the Nihil now have Jedi Force user super weapon in the form of this like weird dog, but they're also just like in absolute chaos, and I honestly cannot tell at this time who has the upper hand. I mean, I guess we can say that Ro is still holding all the cards since he's the one with the magical glow sticks that control the dog.
He's the one with the literal cards.
Yes. And I think Zetar's still alive. It was kind of hard to tell because I think something attacked him. I can't remember what exactly. Something
Laura
attacked his
D
neck
is
suit.
alive, right?
Yes, she is.
She's fucking angry.
Yeah, she is. I mean, listen, I'll tell you who's angry. So we have Ro, who's like losing his grip on leadership. He has Zetar's loyalty basically, and he's trying to get rid of the other Tempest runners so that he can just like replace them with his own little lackeys. Lorna D's kind of fucked off because she's kind of like shown her hand in the fact that like, listen, we all like, I feel like everybody always knew that she was out for herself, and now she's just like in the open, just being like, what if I just took over the Nihil? Wouldn't that be fun for me? And you know, girl, do what you do.
She's not wrong.
You know? And then we have Pan-Eta, who's like mostly dead, but is also like so fucking angry he's not 100% dead, and he's just like going after Lorna D because he's just like, bitch, set me up. And And
well,
so
that guy's also an idiot.
true.
He's not the smartest.
That's true. But also, yeah, there's just like, I don't know. It's the Nihil have always tried to have this like decentralized like leadership sort of situation, but now it just feels like they're actually fractured, and I'm just like, this is very interesting because at the moment of probably the Jedi's like greatest defeat so far that we've seen in the High Republic, they are also a hot ass mess. So yeah.
I don't know. Calling it like, yes, it's a decentralized kind of situation, but it's also weird because like it's not.
Mm-hmm. It traditionally is, I guess I
Rose
should
got
say.
all the cards. He has
Right.
the magic space maps. He's got the glow sticks for the dog. He's got the fucking Chernobyl in a box.
Yeah, and it's and I think it becomes a question for Ro and for the Nile in general is how much actual person power do you need to use all of these things? Like, because we do see like the raid on Valo didn't go bad for them, but it didn't go as well as they wanted it to. Like, they were hoping to get in, kill everybody, and get out, and that didn't happen. Most of Panetta's Tempest is decimated at this point. And
he also like kind of carpet bombed Lorna D's Tempest too, so that's not a good thing.
Yeah. And like Zetar, like who the fuck knows how much of a Tempest he even has, because Kassav's Tempest got destroyed in the last book. So like it's definitely interesting to see, because they did have this decentralized thing and it worked for them while they weren't going after big targets, and they didn't. Part of the beauty of being decentralized is that it's hard to track them down, and also it's very hard for them to like unite against anybody, and that's where like the kind of like the balance of power and balance of terror between the three kind of comes into play. And then Ro, with his plans to unite them, also gives them somebody to believe in or hate, depending on how things are going.
And sometimes both in the same day.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're saying that once again, the lesson is never try.
Yes.
Because they tried. And they fucked it up.
Insert Yoda quote here.
But yeah. Also, Lorna D's pissed, like, because, like, she's clearly the smartest. That was, like...
Oh, far and away.
Somewhat clear in the first book, and is really clear in this book. With the ish exception of Ro, but I'm not... Well, we can talk about this more as we get further into phase 1, like, maybe at the end of phase 1 of how smart... Is Marky and Ro smart, or did Marky and Ro get dealt a really good hand?
I think Marky and Ro has generational space knowledge wealth.
Yeah.
Was he born on third base, or did he in fact hit a triple?
I think he might have space apartheid money. Like some...
Chris is making a face like, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Just saying. He's not as smart as everyone thinks he is.
Yeah, I can't respond to that without spoilers. But yes, I think that's an excellent thought.
Supposition.
Yes.
Yes.
And...
Oh, I thought he was going to try to not say something about the Elon jokes.
Oh. I'll say everything about the Elon jokes.
No, brother.
That's what my whole thing was. It was the Elon joke.
It was great. I liked it.
Thank you. I hated it.
Yeah. Aww. It's because it's Elon.
Yeah.
But also Lorna D, like, she did rightly get her ass kicked on Valo by Flubber. So like it's not like it's going great for her either.
Like, that is the most embarrassing thing I can think of that could happen to me, honestly, is to get beat up by Jello, like sentient Jello. Like, I just fuck me.
Just like, man, how big was the guy that beat you up? He was huge. He was a blob.
And very solid, and definitely
Now I'm just thinking of a gelatinous cube from D&D. Where they're just useless blobs, but they will destroy you.
You're not wrong.
I'd say it's closer to that than like the alternative of like a humanoid corporeal vertebrate.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
that guy definitely doesn't have bones in his body for sure.
Yeah.
So
The bones are the money.
He has no money.
oh my fucking god! When the skeletons come to life, he's absolutely fucked. I'm so sorry.
But he doesn't have hair either, so they won't be able to pull it up but not out. Sorry, you were gonna say
I'm gonna
something
fucking
real.
kill you. All right. So, what's the daughter of the scientist that Ty's bodyguarding, Kieran or something?
Sure.
All right. What I fucked.
Oh, that lady. Yeah. The one who befriends the gay one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So she's saying that the Nihil theoretically stole the plans for the whatever like energy weapon they invented that like cuts out lightsabers and blasters and such, and and that she also had like a better copy, and I honestly could not tell from the writing whether she was actually going to sell them out or she was bluffing, and who owns what and what is going on.
Who's to say?
Yeah, it's not clear from the book. I will say, because it's not a spoiler, I don't recall it being mentioned ever again. I think that was
weird.
Honestly, that plot line was kind of the weak part of this book and was very much like, how do we get Ty Yorick into the story? Which is fine. I love Ty Yorick.
Yes.
She deserves to be in the story.
Yes.
And also, it was very much a let's send her on a fetch quest to make her interact with the heroes.
Oh man. And just to clarify for y'all, the gay one is Ty Yorick.
Thank you. I didn't know her name.
Oh my god. Anything else you want to say about the Nihil at this juncture? Besides what the fuck is going on over there?
That's all I ever want to say.
I know.
I mean, even before they had the bad dog, they're doing the thing.
It's true. Well, I guess Ro's doing the thing.
Yeah. But execution-wise, even Lorna was doing the thing too.
That's fair enough.
Pan didn't really do shit.
No, because he
was useless.
Pan's job was guard the exit, and he couldn't even do that.
Oh my! His brain is rocks. So I don't. That's all that's going on over there.
But yeah, so I mean, it's interesting to see them as such a foil to the Jedi, because we've never seen the Jedi have enemies that aren't the Sith, right? Like, I mean, the Clone Wars happened, but like the droids and everybody weren't their enemies. Like, the enemies were the Sith. The droids were tools. And so we've never actually seen the Jedi, particularly when they're at their height, fight against something like an army and how that would actually work. And it's interesting to see this actually be planned out of, we are going to overstimulate the hell out of them and swamp them with noise and poison gas and flashbangs.
It's almost like what we did in the Middle East.
Almost.
Mm.
And so it is interesting to see them struggle to deal with that, because I feel like it's also like kind of a trope of like the grand heroic army is faced with guerrilla warfare and suddenly they don't know what to do. Like, and this isn't quite guerrilla warfare, but it's unconventional tactics, I would say. So it'll be interesting to see how the Jedi respond.
Sounds like the United States military is just like crowdsourcing how to do guerrilla warfare at this point. Like,
the Jedi
can you write
should
about this?
I think the Jedi should spend more money on planes.
They don't have a lot. I think. I have no idea how many planes they have.
I mean, they have all the frickin' what are they called?
Planes?
Drones?
No, they're tiny little
Vespers.
fighters.
Oh, the
Vespas.
Vectors.
Vespas,
yes. The Jedi have Vespas, thank you.
They're really
could be
slow and they
Italian.
can't make good turns, just like in Book of Boba Fett.
Oh my god.
I'm so confused at everything that comes out of y'all's mouth about this book.
And that's okay.
It's really
it's
the only
kind
way
of
to
a
be.
chaotic book.
Uh-huh. It's like seven
I was
plot
confused
lines.
about a lot of it.
It tries to do a lot,
It does.
and I would say it achieves in a good portion, but not all. So let's talk about the Republic and where they're at, because this is one of those moments where it's like a really small split-second decision ends up being a watershed moment for the galaxy, in my opinion. And well, Kate, you put this on the outline, so before I steal it, do you want to start or should I go ahead?
Oh no, you can go. I feel like you filled this out.
Yeah, okay.
Much more nicely now.
Um,
all I had was like basically like President Lady is in the hospital, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so we have this like beloved leader who everybody thought for a moment was dead.
Little Miss Great Works, yes.
She is
What?
she is in fact not dead. She still has her cats.
Good.
Dude, I was so scared the cats were gonna die. I was like, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Cavan
and they're
would,
fucking-
too.
I know. Nothing is safe. I was afraid the cats were gonna die. I was afraid the good dog was gonna die. Like Belle's dog was gonna die. Anyway.
Correct. And so there is this moment where Stellan, who is the figurehead that the Jedi Order have put forward to represent them in this age of exploration,
Great.
which we're going to talk about. I've made my Stellan feelings very clear, and we're going to talk more about why. But there is a moment where he is like cradling her, and he is seen as the savior of the Republic. And then there is a call for the Jedi to become the military. And this is a role that they have explicitly not taken before in these books. And that is kind of the big difference between the prequel Jedi and now. Like the prequel Jedi, they were already kind of galactic police. And because the Republic didn't have a standing army, they only had the Jedi. And there were 10,000 of them at that time. And I feel like there's roughly that many now as well. There's a lot. And we've talked extensively throughout any book that we've read involving the Jedi and the Force about
all of them.
Yeah. Basically not Twilight Company.
Oh right, I was like, this is Star Wars, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the concept, but
Yep. And about the kind of slippery slope that devolves into fascism and how the Jedi have problems with that. And that's how they lose the Clone Wars before a shot is fired. And at some point on that slippery slope, somebody makes a decision to step onto that slope. And when we see this throughout history. And we get to see the moment where Stellan Gios makes that choice.
Fucking guy. He's just listen, Elzar's very easy to make fun of because he's obviously a fucking dumbass. But Stellan is just so replete with bad decisions. Good gravy. I don't know which of you had the note on the outline about
me.
I didn't put a damn thing on this outline.
Sure. That's fair enough.
Respect.
But with Elzar, I'm just you are just making poor choices left and right. I'm just listen, folks might not know where Yoda is right now, but you're doing a great job filling in, bro. Fuck.
Truly. Stellan, right on the heels of being oh, maybe we can talk more about the Jedi being involved in the military operations. He's oh, let's just, you know how my best friend just confessed to me that he completely lost control and embraced the dark side and is asking me for help? Let's let him go back there as a treat.
Avar's gonna fucking burn just beat the absolute ever-living shit out of these two knuckleheads when she gets back. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, I mean, we're gonna see more about Elzar. And what?
Great.
I want to know what chaos shit he does, man.
Yeah.
I mean, same, and also,
and he was already not okay, and then he just experienced the leveler and whatever that did to him.
Oh man, his brain is if Panada's brain is rocks, his brain is scrambled eggs at this time, and oh golly,
this is your brain on drugs.
Oh shit, and not wet scrambled eggs. My least favorite.
I was gonna say,
like, only
not
partially cooked.
Not the good drugs.
Like, he's like, you know, the dregs of like buffet scrambled eggs where it's like kind of watery in the bottom.
Why must you take this too far every single fucking time?
Because he hates
What
us.
is my purpose here? What is my purpose here besides that?
I don't know.
But yeah, so like, the Republic is like on paper not in a bad place. They've like, you know, they're united coming out of this. Like, Lena So is still alive. The Togruta want to join the Republic, which is exciting.
That was good. That was fun.
Yes, I just
the power of lesbians, man.
Oh my
Heyo.
god, their queen is so attractive to me. I've never put my eyeballs on this lady in my entire life, but she could kill me, and that is enough.
Yes,
Miranda knows.
I am familiar with this concept.
Mm-hmm. I mean, same for Lauren D. Honestly, I'm just like there's just like,
also familiar with this concept.
Also, a lot of very deeply attractive ladies.
Everybody needs a muscle mommy.
So true. So true.
You all are shocked that came out of my mouth.
Kate's brain is broken. Kate has never heard that term before, and her brain is broken.
You've never heard that term before?
No.
I gotta rewatch She-Ra with that term in my brain hole.
I'm fucking asexual. How have I heard the term muscle mommy and y'all haven't?
I don't know what you get up to with
is...
your life.
Oh my god!
Just basically the entire vibe of this book is put me down as scared and horny.
That's what Elzar is.
ain't that the fucking truth? Any other thoughts on the Republic? Obviously, we're going to be continuing.
I'm so upset. God. Wow. Okay. That lives in my head now. Mm-hmm.
I'm just quite frankly amazed you've never heard that term before.
You're right to be. I'm kind of surprised myself. So this is fascinating.
I kind of live under a rock. But
we know.
Fair enough.
Kate's just like, I have a brand new tag to search on AO3.
Oh my god!
There's gonna
be. You're right.
I can tell you some fucking She-Ra fics that are gonna be in there.
Mm-hmm. You're correct. All right, I have nothing else to say on the Republic. One thing I did want to throw in there, I don't have a lot to say about this point, but just from a dissecting the literary standpoint, or whatever the fuck of this book. So one thing that I think I've said this before too, especially with like Light of the Jedi. No, I didn't say this with Light of the Jedi because I wasn't on those fucking episodes, but I read Light of the Jedi.
That's true. She said it to me for Light of the Jedi.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
So. Yeah, off the pod though, so does it count? Doesn't
no
count.
Talking
right
off
now.
pod.
I know.
Silence only in our house.
So
talk only through Orca.
Guys, it's so quiet. So it's one thing that's really interesting is like obviously like Charles Soule and Cavan Scott are two dudes who work in comics, and I think comics is a little bit closer to like moving image and the fact that it takes like more of a like an omniscient lens. It can jump from like viewpoint to viewpoint. You can get into everyone's head if you want to. And that's something that has basically been frowned upon in modern fiction when it comes to actually like writing a novel or a short story or what have you. I've sat through workshops where people have been, gently chastised for this part is breaking the point of view because I thought we were in, Bob's head, and I don't understand why we now all of a sudden we understand what I don't know, like fucking whoever is thinking, not Bob. So for I think a lot of folks like it feels like something that is when we see that that really close point of view being broken in that way, I think a lot of us see it as like, oh, this was like an editing error, or this was a mistake, or this wasn't a good choice, or what have you, because like we haven't really seen this in a novel since like the early 1900s. But I have noticed, and as Chris pointed out, I do read a lot of fan fiction, and you know, it's the Wild West out there for obvious fucking reasons. You know, people are just like dicking around for fun, and that's completely fine. I don't care. But you know, these are writers who are coming up writing, you know, just freestyling it basically, and who don't necessarily have any formal training. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. It's just like factual. You know, formal training in like what the quote unquote like academy considers like to be like good or proper writing style. And a lot of these Star Wars authors have also said that they came up as fanfic writers. And so it is just, this is all to say, it is just interesting to me that, you know, they're just kind of out here in terms of like point of view and just being like, there are no rules. This is what I'm used to, and we're just gonna do it live. And they're probably just gonna make the New York Times bestseller list anyway because they're writing a Star Wars book. But no, it's just an interesting thing I've been noticing. Because you know, it's been so drilled into my head, like, don't, you know, close third person, that or like the first person, and that is all you do, and anything else is a gimmick or wrong. And so to see this, like, you know, just like happening like across books and authors and such is just interesting. And I wonder about just in terms of like trends and what do we decide is acceptable in art and like whatever else. So anyway, there's my little academic spiel for the end of this book.
Kate has a degree in this.
I don't know why they gave it to me, but here we are.
Who cares?
The end.
It still
Ash,
counts.
I think you're on mute.
Don't you have a master's degree?
Yeah.
Yeah, she went back for more.
I did art school.
I feel like both of these books, in that vein, it's very like kind of like the Game of Thronesification, or the Song of Ice and Fire, because that is like one of like the more popular like pop culture-y books that does that, where it has like.
But each chapter is dedicated to a point of view. It doesn't happen within the chapter.
That's
that's
not,
true.
That's
so
not a third person omniscient.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
yes.
that's not what I'm saying. Like it is omniscient. Like there's this very specific opening of a chapter that I'm thinking of in this one, where we're at the Val Republic Fair, and it's almost like we're like have a flyover camera where like,
oh yes,
you know, we're like, this person's doing this and they're thinking about this, and this other person's doing this other thing and thinking about this other thing, and so on and so forth. And like that's a very obvious one, and that's like, you know, that I think that's more of a like it's a technique we don't see often, but like there are also points where, you know, these character point of views are broken up by chapter and section, and sometimes like it will switch within a chapter or a section, and I usually never see that. That is so frowned upon, generally speaking, and so I'm just very interested in it.
God, I understand what you're saying. Got it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it is interesting, and I feel like your point about them being comics writers and comics being a much more visual medium, I think is also part of why Star Wars has really thrived in comics, really since the beginning. I mean, that, you know, it had its massive runs basically since the movie came out, and because like the movie is such a visual experience.
Well, it's a movie.
Well, yes. Famously. But also, like, it is a movie that has been driven largely not by plot, but by what cool stuff can we do on screen. At least when George Lucas was in charge of it.
Yeah.
And I say that, okay, I say it with a little bit of judgment, but I don't say it completely judgmentally, because like it completely, basically any movie technology, any screen technology that is in use right now was invented by ILM. And that's because George Lucas pushed them to do that. And so it's interesting to see that translated to a book. And I do feel like that is something that Star Wars books have often struggled with, of how do we capture the feeling, the grandiosity of Star Wars?
How do we make it feel like Star Wars?
Yeah. Like, how do we capture that while sticking within accepted literary techniques?
That's an interesting
Fuck your
point.
literary techniques.
Excuse you.
Make it a comic.
She'll come back. She'll come back to Portland and kick you.
I know I don't. I love literally. I also have lots of feelings about points of view, but I'm just saying.
Do you have
that's
any?
what Star Wars said.
I was gonna say, do you have any now that you would like to share with the class?
I like third person omniscient. I always have. I know it's not right, but it's helpful for me.
But also, I feel like you probably read more international literature. Like if you stick with just like strictly like American and British literature, I feel like it's like close third person is the thing. But like
yeah. I also love close third. I love any third person. I don't love first person. I can't believe I bought a book and a real physical human book, and it was written in second person, and I put that book down.
Wow.
Which is a shame because I really like the first one.
Alas.
But I digress.
What book
Who
was
writes in second person?
Great question.
Millennials.
What's the vampire, the necromancer book?
Gideon the Ninth series.
Gideon the Ninth. The next one, the second one, I don't know if it stays in second person, but it fucking starts in second person.
Oh, that's amazing. See, me, I'm like, that's amazing. I want to know more about this. Because like a mass market book in second person is anyway, go.
I loved Gideon the Ninth, and I was so upset.
See, this, I mean, differences in personal taste, which is fine, but...
You got to read the 5th season. That whole series is in second person.
What did you say?
I don't.
Why did you tell me that to start with?
I have.
I don't listen to you when you talk.
Therein lies the problem.
Ah, god damn it. That's so cool. All right. It's like, listen, is it like, I mean, it's N.K. Jemisin, so I assume it's done well because she's a fucking genius.
Oh, it's incredible.
Oh, I believe that, yeah.
But
and then you get to the end and you understand why.
Sure.
Like, it's not, and by the end, I mean like the end of the series.
Fuck me. All right.
But you do there is a plot reason for it.
Yeah, sure. But like, even if it wasn't done well, I'm just like, I like looking at weird stuff, even if it blows. So, so give it to me. All right, cool. Good to know. But yeah, I had a thought, and now it's gone.
You're welcome.
That's all.
Third person, second person.
Oh, something about comics and just like and movies. Yeah, I don't know what it is about visual mediums that like, we're very used to just like being able to be in multiple people's heads and like seeing like what behind the scenes and like what's going on with them at home that's making them like act so fucked up at work, or like or here are the evil machinations of this like entity that are happening after hours when our naive happy main characters aren't there. Like we're used to all those layers being pulled back in a visual medium, and not so much anymore in a written one. So I don't know. I'm just
great SAT word there.
Which
machinations?
Oh, hey. Y'all, I did so bad on my math section of my SAT.
It's
like,
fine.
Real bad.
It doesn't fucking matter. You have 2 degrees.
I sure
and
do.
Not
both
math,
of them are
so
lucrative for me. Look, honest to God, like I almost went into chemistry, and then I saw how much math there was, and I was like, never mind. And here we are.
Which is funny because you're significantly better than I am at chemistry.
Yeah,
I'm famously terrible at chemistry.
That's true. I don't know.
Like, and I'm good at math, and I'm generally good at science. And Kate fucking carried me through our freshman chemistry class.
We weren't even taking like the hard chemistry class, bro.
We were taking like the equivalent of rocks for jocks, and I still was fucking struggling.
I'm a musician.
Listen, that's about where I am. So, and now I have a podcast.
There's no better place to end it than that. Thank you for listening. This wraps up our discussion on the High Republic, The Rising Storm. Next episode, we are going to be continuing with the High Republic theme and reading Race to Crash Point Tower, which is the middle grade book by Daniel Jose Older that takes place essentially concurrently with this book. You'll see some characters that we met in this one. Vern was there.
Vern?
Gosh, what it was?
Ram.
Ram, thank you. Ram Jamaram. We'll meet him as well.
What a beautiful name.
It's
Black Betty.
Yep. That's the only thing I ever think of. I'll play it for you later, Kate.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
In the meantime, so we're going to be reading the whole book for next episode. In the meantime, if you have the means, first and foremost, donate to the Prism Foundation at theprismfoundation.org. Then, if you want to support us because you hit your head and want to throw away money, you can do that either via Patreon or via Coffee at ko-fi.com. Listen, some people just wake up one day and want to light $44 billion on fire. I don't know what people do with their time.
Oh, yes. Marky and Rowe. Familiar with this man.
Yes. ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. Or on Patreon at patreon.com/TashiStation. For $1, you can get access to the Patreon Slack. And for $2, you can watch Kate and I stream. Kate is currently streaming Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm probably going to start streaming Armored Core later this month or in September.
And we think we figured out the fucking Xbox thing, so stay tuned.
Yay.
Yes, so you can see us get high and play Halo.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Doesn't it, though? In the meantime, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting all of our children: Argos, Jasper, Orca, Tony, Wedge Arftilles, and Tifa Barkhart.
Who's currently licking my toes right now?
Tony's licking my finger.
Just no pictures for less than 500.
Nope.
Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. And our audio and production are done by our very own Ashton, at AshJeffies on Twitter.
That's me.
Thank you so much from all of us here. We'll talk to you.